when you go see Bruce, he's like, you know, he very consciously is giving you a big.
Yeah, well, Bruce is different. Can I talk about Bruce now?
Please.
Okay. So, like we said, our influences keep changing and growing, and now they're all over the place. And I love it, and it can be like a Turkish guitar band and blah, 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 and the influences come from everywhere. And I'm so grateful for the early influences because, particularly in the case of Radiohead, that gave me permission to do this. So I'm so grateful to them for that. And I love their music. Then just like being able to go around the world and listen to everything and hear everyone, and it just all goes in, it's all incredible. But when Bruce Springsteen came into my life, it was the same as when Rumi, the poet, came into my life. It was like a fucking life-changing thing. Because Bruce is so good at being Bruce and not really interested in anything else. And he made it and then was like, okay, I've made it, what am I going to do from this position? Rather than, I've made it, let me retire now and have a horse ranch or whatever. Like, what am I going to do with this gift I've been given? And he delivers on it 1,000 times over. He pours everything into it. So when I saw Bruce, I was like, oh, and another guy called Wayne Coyne from the Flaming Lips. It made me feel like, oh, I'm just going to be unashamedly into what we're doing. And I'm going to pour everything into it. And Bruce really only came into my life about 10 years ago. It was like, oh yeah, some people really don't like what we do, and that's okay. God bless them. There's so many other things to listen to, and why worry about that? And sometimes there's some constructive criticism. And this album may sell this many, and this album may sell, great. And we might win this, we might win that, we might be Band of the Year, or conversely, worst Band of the Year. That's great, all this periphery stuff, wonderful. But ultimately, my job, I realise from seeing Bruce, is to be totally and unashamedly of service to the people that are listening, or they're at the concert, or they're listening at home, and just to be 100% used by the forces that gave you this gift in the first place.
Just to just be unashamedly you.
Yeah, and just to be used. Like, use
the
me
gift.
Up, universe. And that's what I feel with Bruce. I feel like Bruce is just burning so strong until time says, okay, no, you know?
Did you pick anything up more specific than that from Bruce?
Well, that's...
About a show? Or, I mean, that's more than enough to pick up.
Yeah, but also I love his music. I mean, I first got in through listening to Johnny Cash's Highway Patrolman cover, which I didn't know was by Bruce. So then that led me to Nebraska. And I was like, oh, this is not what I thought Bruce Springsteen was. And then I had a great friend here in New York who's obsessed with Bruce, and he said, you've got to listen to this, listen to that. So then I went and listened to. Then I got into Brilliant Disguise, which I loved, and of course by then Philadelphia was. I was like, oh, there's more to this guy, and then I just went back and Asbury Park and Born to Run. I mean. It just all started feeding in and looking at his attention to detail and his, like, no.
He is single-minded.
It's not right until it feels right to me.
He is totally single-minded.
Yeah.
He is, and he also is the most careful thinker.
I'm getting
a rigorous fucking thinker.
Tattoo of him today.
Really?
After this, yeah.
What
in time for SNL tomorrow, which I guess this is going to air in a few weeks, but...
What's the tattoo of his face?
I have a little funny thing. No, I'm going to get a thing that says Working on a Dream.
Oh, great.
Which is not a song that many people...
No, but it's wonderful.
But to me, it's like, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Are you going to tell him that? I might tell him that.
Well, yeah.
Or you want the surprise?
You tell him,
I might have talked to him.
So
we met first at Bruce backstage.
We did, across a crowded room.
Across a crowded room.
And I said, hey, Jan, you said, could you get me a drink, please? And I said, no, I'm a rock star. And you said, yeah, no, you're not.
No, I knew you were a rock star sitting over there, suspicious as to why a member of the press is sitting over here opposite me in the back of the dressing room. Something like, what's he doing there, you know?
No, definitely. Yeah.
That was what?
And at that time, I had a...
Am I in a cool place or not? If
Well,
he's
no,
here,
at that
I'm
time,
not.
I was like, this is the guy that has Us Weekly and paparazzi and stuff. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
I now have very different feelings about that whole situation and about you as a person who I really love.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But Bruce walked in that time, just getting off the stage, and and then he came over and he jumped on me on the couch and wrestled me down to the couch like attacking, you know, like.
I was like, oh, he must be all right.
Yeah. Well, if he gets that kind of treatment.
Yeah.
And just your thoughts on the Stones, by the way?
Oh, yeah. Okay. My thoughts on the Stones are as follows. They are very good. I love the Stones very much. I came to the Stones late as well. I was in a covers band, another band at school, and they wanted to play Black Magic Woman and Paint It Black. And I wouldn't do it because I felt it was evil. This is when I was very religious. So I only first saw the Stones in 2012, the first time I saw them, and since then I've seen them a lot of times. And I would say I'm obsessed with the Stones.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. What part are you obsessed with?
Their shows, and Mick is a front man, and you know, they have such a different, I don't know if they have a different ethos to us, or there's just a very different energy, but Mick, I think it's the same thing with Bruce. Mick, and not just to say Mick, but all of the Stones, including Daryl and including, you know, Chuck and everyone, they're unashamedly themselves. That's what it feels like. And, you know, as a frontman who can't really dance in a traditional manner, or even in a modern manner, to be given permission to just be yourself, but fully, and go let loose. That's why I'm very drawn to those kind of people. Beyonce is the same, but she's much more. But I'm equally in awe of her and of Jay, and there's a bunch of people.
What's it like working with those two?
Well, that is just really a privilege. And we're so lucky to live in a time when all these kinds of music, we all meet each other, and there aren't really there's much less tribalism in music than there used to be. And it all melts together more. And as a performer, you know, you can't really compete with Beyonce.
But you've been having an ongoing kind of relationship with these guys for some time now, right? She's been on your record, you've been on theirs, the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Do you have a particularly good personal relationship, particularly special?
I mean, I love them very much.
Do you see them often?
We, as much as people who do our job see each other, it tends to be those kind of relationships are, when you see each other, it's great, but then you know that you're going to Uganda and you're going to Barbados, whatever. I
saw somewhere you were described as the world's sexiest vegetarian.
Yeah, I think that's wrong on 3 counts.
Okay, let me guess. Okay,
yeah.
What's self-deprecating? Who's the for me? Okay.
No, I'd say I'm North London's most hardworking pescatarian.
Okay, so
who eats turkey?
Well. Okay.
It's less of a glamorous type.
What does being a sex symbol, success, stadium star do to your head? You know, what is that?
You'd have to ask someone else.
All right, and then
I don't feel like that right now, Jan.
But you don't. I mean, it's
when I'm doing
there's
it,
no
I feel
stadium
like that.
star. I mean, there's only 5 or 6 groups in the world like that. And
there's a lot of stadiums.
Bruce,
but they're talking about groups. But then there's Beyonce, there's Eminem, Jay-Z.
That's it?
No, One Direction when they were together.
Oh, please.
BTS. Keep going. Post Malone could probably do it.
Well,
Ariana could probably do it.
On a consistent basis for the last 20 years.
No, I get what you're saying, and I'm very grateful.
2 decades. You're grateful.
But I'm not in that mode right now.
You're kind of an you're kind of an anti-rock star, except for you're extremely discreet.
I don't know what you mean by that.
You play your cards close to the vest.
I do,
and you stay out of the way of the press, and
I try to.
Why?
Well, let me first, are you talking about paparazzi and stuff?
No, none that's easy. No.
With that now, with all of that energy now, I just feel, okay, great, you're doing your thing. It's not really my thing, but if you need to do that, then all power to you, and then I'll ask you nicely, hey, is there any way we could go about our day? With press and media, I feel that don't talk unless spoken to in a strange way. We don't go out looking for it. But I love things like this, or...
Well, this is, we're talking, yeah, but...
Or are you talking about more personal life stuff?
Yeah, I'm talking about you keep it to yourself.
Yeah, I do, I do.
Most other people make some display of it or open about it.
Yeah.
You're very private individual.
Yeah, except that all of our songs are very personal, so it's all in there.
Yeah.
But it is, though. Because how could it not be? So all of the loves and the losses and everything, it's all in there. Mm-hmm. And I more subscribe to the Bob Dylan thing of like, don't explain any song, because why ruin someone else's interpretation of it? But all of our songs are very personal to me, and must in some way have been poured through the percolator of our life.
All right, one last question.
Yeah.
You were quoted once saying you wanted to be the biggest band in the world.
Yeah.
Have you done that? I mean, that's
I've
never
heard
that
say
before.
that.
The Beatles said that.
Yeah.
Bruce has said that. U2 has famously said that. What's that
I don't
about?
care about that thing anymore. I feel like I realized that our job is just to be the best us in the world and exist because we love it and we really love it, and reach as many people as want to be reached by making records and by traveling around to see people. And we are the best Coldplay ever.
All right.
You know?
Good.
I can say that
Okay.
without any self-deprecation, because it's true. Hey, thanks, man.
Hey.